To the woman that said that she couldn't stand, she said it in all caps that my pillows weren't fluffed in my videos. I fluffed those just for you. But to the people that say that I talk too quickly in these videos, did you ever think that maybe you listened too slowly? Hi everyone, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, in today's video, we are going to be talking about top 10 IKEA products for 2024. These are my favorite IKEA products that I love because I like IKEA, you like IKEA. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know who you are, but maybe you don't. You clicked in the video, so even if you don't like them, that's kind of your problem. But I think they're great. I don't pronounce any of the words properly, the names, whatever. I butcher them all the time. That's fine. Nobody cares. And let's talk about what my favorites are for this year. I just went not long ago to IKEA and I got a lot to say, so let's get going. Okay, first up, it's a top 10, but like, let's be honest, I've got a bunch of honorable and dishonorable mentions. I'm gonna just whip through those ones really quickly. So honorable mention is the UTSÅDD. So this is a cat scratcher and I think it's cute. I think it's really cute. People are always asking me for cool, nice pet things. And all the cat people are like, Nick, but why is there no beautiful cat tree? And I go, I don't know, because cat trees are probably just ugly and you either have to make a decision, entertain your cat or have a beautiful space. That's your call. I don't know what to tell you. But IKEA is trying to make something that's actually kind of beautiful and goes with the rest of your decor. It looks like it's kind of like a cool like rattan sort of material and the cat's just gonna scratch on it, which is great. Now, is the cat gonna actually just scratch on that or scratch on the sofa next to it? I don't know. I don't have a cat. I've never had one. I don't dislike cats. I think they're fine. But you know, give this a whirl. It's kind of cool looking and also provides a functional purpose for your little kitty cat. So isn't that lovely? Next up is the oh God, ÅSJORDFLY, the ÅSJORDFLY. Just rolls off the tongue, that one. This is a cute pillow. I picked this one because it's like a cute little shag pillow. I think it's like 15 bucks or something like that. Obviously price depends on where you are, but like it looks like it's a really cute sort of fluffy pillow. Now here's the thing. There's two compromises I think you're gonna make with this one, which is why it's the honorable mention list and didn't make it onto the rest of the top 10. One is material. This is polyester, okay? If you wanna get some like shearling, the little sheepies that have just been, you know, shed and or whatever, sheared, whatever they are, and then turned into a pillow or something. That's not this, okay? That's not what this is. You're probably gonna pay about $180 for that pillow. This is 15 bucks. So sometimes we need to go in with our eyes wide open in terms of what we're really paying for and how value works in today's economy. So this is a polyester pillow, right? But it kind of fulfills that trendy, fluffy, textural moment that you're maybe looking for in your space. Comes in a chocolate brown, comes in a cream. The other thing, I kind of wish it went all the way around. This one, sorry IKEA, kind of blame you for this one. I think that it would have been nice if it was both ways, if it was kind of like on the front and the back of the pillow, but it's only on the front. So that's a little disappointing, but overall, cute little option. Next up is the FASCINERA. I like this one because it's sort of an organically shaped sort of wood serving platter, which is really nice because so much of IKEA is standardized because it is, you know, manufactured to make 50 billion of them at a time. This one is organically shaped, but made 50 billion at a time. So that's a little bit different than what they normally do, which is usually just like perfect sort of geometric shapes. This sort of feeds into the organic trend that we're seeing in design all over the place and have done for a while, the organic modern style, right? Everything's sort of shaped like blobs and kidney beans and stuff like that, right? We see that in furniture, we see that in decor, definitely seeing it here. This list, by the way, you can really see IKEA does have their ear to the ground. I mean, I've never, like literally never, even though I've made how many videos on IKEA, never spoken to a person at IKEA head office, so I don't know what's going on over there. But clearly, like people think I have like the bat phone to IKEA. I do not. They don't even know who I am, and that's cool. But like, I think they got their ear to the ground in terms of like what's coming, because you're gonna see in this list. So they definitely have sort of bought into this sort of organic trend, and I think this one's really cool. Speaking of, there's the, oh my gosh, the TRÄDGRÄNSEN, of course. And that is a set of these organically shaped decor, you know, blobs. Why to make honorable mention? I think to somebody else, this might be in their top 10. You know what I mean? Like it's this ceramic item, which is really cool. It's a little bit different. I'm tired of the blobs myself. I like organically shaped things, but so long as they provide some sort of a functional purpose. And again, if it's beautiful and you love it, that is a purpose. So good for you. If you love them, then put them in your home. I don't care. But you know, for me, this isn't the top 10. And since this is my top 10, not yours, that's why it didn't make my top 10. Maybe it's in yours and that's cool. Go make a YouTube video about it. Let me know, tag me in the description and I'll like it. But I'll watch that video too. But like for me, this isn't top 10 material. This is honorable mention. And then we've got like poofs galore. We've got so many poofs, little ottomans, little storagey things. There's too many to mention. We got the ÄNGSLILJA. Well, I say too many to mention, but now I'm gonna mention them. The ÄNGSLILJA, the JÄRRESTAD. What else? That one's kind of cool. It's kind of like a felt material. The SIDSJÖ, the RESARÖ. I feel like when I do them quickly, the names, it's 10 times worse. And those are kind of cool, right? Some of them are storage. They're all like very like there's upholstered ottomans and footstools. IKEA's got a whole ton of them right now. I don't know. Someone in the design team just really had a moment and they just sketched out like 6 of them and they all made it to the store at the same time because they're all pretty new for IKEA right now. And they're all kind of cool. I like a storage ottoman more than a regular ottoman because of the storage part. Because you know me, I'm all about the closed storage because you got lots of junk that you need to hide. And I sometimes think that like 4/5 of the battle in design is just hiding your ugly crap. Especially like just to take your home for cheap, like to upgrade it today is just to like hide your ugly stuff. And that's probably gonna get you 4/5 of the way there. Much cheaper than going out and buying a whole furniture set. You know what I mean? So this is a great way to do that. You buy this little storage unit, it acts as seating sometimes, it acts as storage most of the time, and a footstool the rest of the time. Super fun. Sorry, I was supposed to go through these honorable mentions quickly, but I can't shut up. Okay, the RESARÖ, which this looks like, I looked at the Norden and the Fjordhoja, whatever, had a baby. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a little, one of those flippy up Gatling tables, but it's also kind of a storage unit at the same time. And I kind of like that. It's serving double duty. It's a utility cart, but it's also a table for your little tiny apartment that's maybe 300 square feet in Sweden. That's what I feel like it's there for. And it's cute. Yeah, it's made of wood and it just looks like, it feels like a piece that IKEA's probably had about for like 400 years, but apparently it's kind of new because again, I think it's a mix of 2 different things they've already done. Why not? Okay, and now we've arrived at a dishonorable mention. And it's gotta be the PJÄTTERYD. I've made fun of the PJÄTTERYD before. It's basically a collection of prints. I have gone on record that there are no really good IKEA prints, but they've crossed the line. They've crossed the line with the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa? Like, I mean, it's funny when they've got crappy prints that they make by the billions and then put in every Airbnb near you. I swear you go to like Dubrovnik and you go into every Airbnb and you're gonna find like one of these PJÄTTERYDs or one of these IKEA art pieces in every single one of those Airbnbs. You know what I mean? Because it's just everywhere. These same pieces, these same prints are all over the place. But the Mona Lisa, Van Gogh, Starry Night, and sunflowers, I mean, like who, if I walk into your house and you have a Mona Lisa print anywhere, I don't even know how I would handle it. I'd be like, wow, you have made it. The Mona Lisa, you say. You managed to snag that one. I can't believe the Louvre has it on loan. That's amazing. I would say no one's fooling, but like literally you'd have to be like have a lobotomy to believe that this is cool. Sorry if you have one of these, go for it. But this one's bad. This one's bad. Okay, let's move into the top 10. Okay, so in my actual top 10, even though this is like a top 15, let's be honest, we have the ÄNGSLILJA, whatever it is. I'll just write the names. This is a really cool sheet set, which is kind of nice. I like this one. It's 100% cotton, but this reads as really sort of neutral and very lovely. I personally, although I do love the cream and the oatmeal because you know me, I'm obviously like kind of apparently an almond mom, especially if you like see all the beige that I have in my home. Like I like wood, so I have a lot of brown tones in my home, just who I am. But I really love the green actually. I think this like shade of green is really beautiful. I love this sheet set. This feels, I mean, I love my Brooklinen. You know, I'm partial to the Brooklinen. You guys know that. I'm like a Brooklinen stan. But I will say that if you're looking for something that's more cost effective, even though I think Brooklinen is great value for really high quality linen sheets, but anyway, not sponsored, just saying, but I do think IKEA does a really, really great job with their more affordable versions of what they've got going on here. This is 100% cotton and really beautiful colors, so definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have the FRYKSÅS. The FRYKSÅS made it into the video I'm gonna link at the end here, which is my organizational item video that you guys loved. That video went like, people really loved that one, which I get because, you know, it's good. But I would say the FRYKSÅS is made it on that list because it's a organizational unit, which I know is super sexy and you're like, clearly that makes into a top 10, but I really love these rattan doors. I think it doesn't even look IKEA. This looks like a higher end retailer came out with this one. I love the finish of the rattan. I think it looks really, really cool. I think it makes sense in an office, but honestly, you could put this in a living room. I just really love this one. The side frame is made of solid acacia wood. The whole thing isn't necessarily, like a lot of the shelves, of course, are gonna be particle board and stuff. Those are not gonna be solid wood, but that's okay. I just really like the finish on this one. I think it's really fun. I think this is a really nice cabinet system that is really popular, and I think we're gonna see it stick around from IKEA for a while. Okay, next up is gonna be the RORKULT. The RORKULT is this really, really cool lighting fixture that has this really beautiful shade on it. Now, the diffuser is made of polycarbonate plastic, okay? Just putting that right out there right from the beginning. They say, okay, 50% recycled, cool, but like really it's made of plastic. So let's get that out of the way right away, right? So obviously for this really, really cool shade, you're gonna get plastic, which would it be nice nicer in linen, sure, but that's a higher price point. And here we are. If we're trying to get this price point as low as it can go and still look beautiful, then plastic makes sense for me. I like this one because it's diffuse lighting. I just feel like it's really cool and kind of makes a statement. You can put it on a tabletop, you could mount it on the wall as sort of a sconce, which I think is really beautiful. And I love that it sort of creates really diffuse light in a space. That's something I'm always a big fan of, as you guys know, is that if you're able to diffuse your light, diffused light is flattering light. So it just is able to provide a little bit of a glow to your space without necessarily harsh, jarring light into your living room or your dining room or your whatever bedroom, wherever you're choosing to put this light. So I think this is cool. Do I wish it wasn't plastic? Sure, but then I also know that it would be a more expensive price point. And again, we're talking about value here, and I think this is a really, really cool, beautiful pendant at an accessible price point. Okay, next up is going to be the VARMBLIXT, which is like a viral lamp that had to make it onto my top 10 because I will say it is cool. This is a glass donut lamp. I'm just gonna call it the donut because that's how I always refer to it as the donut, but apparently it's called the VARMBLIXT. This one is so popular. If you can find this one, grab it because it's not easy to find. It sells out all the time. Every time I've been to IKEA, it's always sold out. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy it. I just wanna see it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanna like touch it. But it is really, really cool. I have actually seen it since, but it's rare to find it. Most of the time, it's just not there. I love this one because again, it's glass. This looks incredibly high-end. I think you could find this definitely in sort of a high-end lighting store. It just looks really cool. You can have it sit on a tabletop. You can also choose to mount it and you can have it that way, which is cool. I love the color. I think the fact that it's orange, what it does is just sort of emit a really warm glow as well. So again, it's diffused and it's warm, which are two things that I personally really like in my lighting. As you all know, I'm not a big fan of the hospital lighting and I'm not a big fan of really harsh exposed light bulbs flying in people's faces. This accomplishes both of those things because we get it diffused and we also get it just because of the color of the glass. We also is going to emit a beautiful warm glow. You're seeing this very popular in sort of these like Gen Z spaces where everything has like 45 table lamps sitting all around the place, which I get, I'm a big fan of. So like I see you Gen Z, I see what you're doing and I'm a big fan of it because it's a dynamic lighting plan, lots of different lighting sources happening in the space. You're seeing in a lot of those really cool places. You know what I mean? That plus like a Togo sofa, maybe a Bellini, but I think that one's on the way out. I think it's all about the Togo for the Gen Zs now. Do you know what I mean? Like you're seeing that happening. I think it's a cool one. I like this lamp. It's cool. And it's IKEA, so it's a great price point. Okay, next up is the SILKESTRÄD. This is a really cool, it comes in a couple of different finishes, but I do like the fact that it's a candle that has a really sort of interesting finish as opposed to sort of the polished ceramic or the tea lights or whatever that we normally see from IKEA. This is really cool. Again, you can either get it in the stoneware or you can get it in the leather. And overall, I think it's, yeah, a really cool option. And you could reuse the jar afterwards for something. I don't know, maybe you're crafty. You figure out what you need to use it for. That's not my problem. Okay, next up. This is probably the most sort of innovative one on the list. I think is really cool is like the SILVERPÄRON, which is this double candlestick in a chrome finish that is very shiny, very luxe. This is kind of a mid-century classic piece that IKEA sort of like redone. This is actually reminds me a lot of some really interesting designer candlesticks that we've seen in the past. Some candle holders that have come and gone that are really cool. So like Guido Nieste is like a really sort of, I think I pronounced that correctly. Sorry, not only do I offend the Swedes, apparently the Italians now too. But anyway, this is sort of very similar to the designs that you see from that brand. They've got lots of sort of interesting candlesticks and candle holders and things. And I think that this is a really cool version. If you're into the chrome tint, and I've said this before, the chrome is the trendy material of choice right now. I've said it here in a few videos. I think I did it even in my top 10 sort of trends or whatever for coming in 2024. And yeah, chrome is still very popular. And I think if you are loving the chrome trend, even if you're not, you're just looking for a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of chrome, then this is a really fun one. I just think these are beautiful candlesticks that no one would think necessarily are from IKEA. I just think these are really, really cool. Could be my favorite of the, I don't know, is this my favorite of the bunch or is it the donut lamp? I'm not sure, but these are very cool. Okay, next up is gonna be the TONSTAD collection. This one also got a mention in my organizational item video because I really like this one. This reminds me of some of the other ones. I love the little rounded corners that they have. IKEA's got a few pieces that they have over the years brought out, especially in the last few years. We see a lot more curves coming in, especially sort of those squared off edges, like the lac sort of being replaced. The lac's always gonna be around because it's a $10 coffee table, but like the lac being sort of like those curved edges are still just becoming so much more popular now as people are moving away from some of those short corners. We're seeing just curves has been trendy now for a few years. TONSTAD is really cool because unlike the Bjornas, I think it's the Bjornas, which is like one of my favorite nightstands, and there's like a whole collection there. This one is a newer collection, and this one comes in like an oak veneer and also comes in a smoked oak. So that's really cool. So you got a couple of different finishes there. I like that it's a veneer because again, would I like it to be in solid oak? Of course I would, but I also understand that a solid oak nightstand would probably not be IKEA's price point. So a veneer is the next best thing. As you all know, you've got an oak effect, oak veneer, solid oak. This is the real wood all the way through, tiny little thin layer of wood over top of something like particle board, and then a printed screened version of what oak should be. So this is real oak. That's sort of like a fakey version. So preferred at IKEA, obviously I'd love to get solid oak, but I can't because it's not at this price point. But mid-range oak veneer or smoked oak veneer, very, very cool. Smoked oak, by the way, is something I'm seeing a lot more from a lot of different places. A lot of retailers coming out, it's very trendy. Walnut's a little bit darker, and of course that's gonna be a different wood species, but smoked oak just gives it a little bit more of like a darker feel. It just feels a little bit like kind of got some chocolate notes, a little bit less of the yellowy orangey that you see in oak. Very cool finish. Both of these are awesome. Also comes in like a side table for you to put like, or an end table or whatever you want to do sort of in your living room, whatever, in addition to something like that nightstand. It's a whole collection. The TONSTAD though is very, very cool. Okay, next up is the JÄTTEBO? J's or Y's? Sorry, I have to remember. JÄTTEBO, whatever it is, JÄTTEBO. Good luck. This one's cool. Okay, so here's the thing. I wouldn't say at first glance that this one is necessarily like going to be winning prizes in terms of its innovation in its shape. It's cool, it's simple, it's fine. Of course it is, right? It's a squared off, cute little sectional. This isn't crazy, okay? But what I think is really neat is two things, and this is why it kind of made my list. It's not ugly by any stretch. I'm not saying it is. It's cool looking. It's just not super innovative in that sense. But there's two things that are really cool about it. Number one, I love that there's storage. So you can actually lift it up and you can store stuff in. Because again, I don't know, I'm a broken record around here. You know how much I love hidden storage. If there's a hidden storage opportunity that doesn't compromise the function, i.e. it's still comfortable, I'm a big fan of it. Because if you can shove, again, all your crap somewhere, you're gonna be a lot better off, okay? Second of all, I think it's like, I like this cord material. I think that's where it's a little bit interesting. Cord is very popular as a material. I'm seeing it pop up more and more. Article, I actually went by Article not very long ago for sort of their reveal of some of their furniture coming down. They've got a lot of cord stuff coming out. A lot of cord is definitely coming in. And this is the 70s trend, right? The 70s trend that is so popular and has been for a while. We're seeing a lot more 70s, we're seeing a lot more 90s. Those things becoming really popular. And of course, cord was a material choice that was used a lot in the 70s. And so I think that's what makes this really cool. Taking that sort of retro fabric, but bringing it into something that feels a lot more current, definitely on trend and definitely makes sense. And that's why IKEA is doing it. And I think it's really cool. I like this one. Again, the shape, it's fine. Hidden storage, A+. Interesting material, A++. Okay, next up is a HOLMERUD, which is, speaking of innovation or kind of cool modularity, which is another thing that we saw a lot of in the 70s, modular sofas, which of course have been trendy for a while here too, here in 2024. I like this one. And here's the thing, again, like, do they always hit the mark? No, they don't. You know, I keep it real with IKEA. Sometimes they do some things that really kind of annoy me, but like this one, I'll tell you the downside first. The whole thing is particle board, okay? We're not even pretending. Everything is like an effect. Nothing here is gonna be veneered. Would I like it to be veneered? Of course I would, but you know, here we are. So that's fine, it's an effect, cool, cool. What is it though? I like that this is a modular sort of shelving unit. This is a unit that you can put as a side table next to your sofa because it's really like flat and it's got some open storage area for you to actually display interesting things. So it's got this thing that goes kind of on the side, which can make sense for you to put instead of sort of having that end table. But then you can also, it's built and kind of built for modularity that you can actually put another one to create sort of a corner, assuming you have a square sofa, which I like because so many people just shove their sofa and press it up against the wall. And oftentimes when you're trying to create a conversation area, please see my living room design mistakes video, where we talk about that, like creating an area for people to converse, like for humans to actually spend time together, is really what a living room is for, and not just pushing everything up against and creating this giant yoga space in the middle of the room. That's not what we're up to here. So I like the idea that this still gives you sort of a little bit of some framing around some of your furniture pieces, something like the sofa, while giving you an opportunity to style some cool open shelves at the same time at a super accessible price point. I think these are like, again, depends on where you live, but around like 80 bucks a unit. So you can put one as a side table, which is great, but you can also wrap around and do one on the corner. You could do two along the back of the sofa. You could do a wrap around from the side table and then go two down the side of the sofa. Like you can really get creative in terms of how you want this to look. and really help fill out your space. You could also just use this as a plain old sideboard and shove it up against the wall. That works too. I love the modularity of this piece. Okay, and then we've got the HÄCKPOPPEL, which is this one is like it's like an amber glass, a cute little dish. And then you've also got it in blue. And one of them sort of does not have a little stand and the other one sort of does, whatever. I like this one. I think it's a cool little decor piece. I like that the brown glass, you know what it reads? It reads 70s. Of course it does, because again, like I said, the 70s are back. So this feels very 70s to have this sort of like retro sort of glass, brown glass, amber glass in your space. It's an organic shape. This is just ticking all the boxes of trendy stuff for 2024. Again, IKEA, they do have their ear to the ground. They don't always, because they just look like it never changes and it's got the same crap every year. There's a method to their madness. They do come out with some stuff that is very trendy. This feels very on trend right now. So this is just a fun little dish, again, at a super accessible price point for you to display some of your decor. Maybe you put it in your front hall where you can throw all your keys and all your stuff when you walk in. Maybe you could put it on the side of an end table, a side table. I don't know, you do you. You figure out whatever you need to put a tray in, a little catch-all. This is an option. Or you could just use it as a simple display piece to put in the middle of a dining table or on a media console. Again, make it your own. And finally, we have the Mosjon or the Mosjon, whatever you want to pronounce this one. I like this one. This is sort of a nice little, they've showcased it a lot in the bathroom, but I like this one because it had the fluted glass, which is another really popular trend. Fluted glass is really cool because it sort of does make things a little bit more opaque. So, you know, if you want to still be able to see what's kind of happening inside of your unit, but you want to obscure it. So if maybe you've got guests coming over, they don't necessarily see all your private things that you might be storing in your bathroom. So it kind of gives the best of both worlds. You've got the glass, but you're also sort of obstructing a little bit. So, you know, people can't see your unmentionables. But again, you don't have to put it in the bathroom. You can put it in the living room, put it in the, I was gonna say kitchen, but probably not. You know what I mean? Like you can figure it out. Maybe you do. Maybe you got a little spice cabinet in there. I don't really know what you want to get up to, but you know, it's just a cool little storage unit that also has the advantage of having a fluted glass, which to me is what made it onto my top 10 list because I like fluted glass and I think it's different than what you normally see from IKEA. Okay, so that's it for me for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm gonna link here to my top 10 IKEA organizational items. So if you liked hearing about top 10 IKEA items, you know what you're gonna like? You're gonna like top 10 IKEA organizational items because that's where we get right into those little officey pieces that it's September, it's back to school, back to work. That's probably when I should have put this video out. But anyway, here we are. Okay, see you all in the next video. Thanks a lot, bye.